before the episode 6 even came out, I had like a couple of days before it, I had like a dream. I don't know if it was a week before it, but I had like a dream that I watched episode 6, and I was like, hey, wait a minute, this is actually pretty good. And I don't know, I woke up disappointed because, it was a dream. But then the actual episode was pretty good, I think. For once, I can say that I actually really liked an episode of this show, which is unexpected. I guess it was worth it to just stay by the show and check out where it would go eventually. I mean, I guess it was like, I don't know, it starts slow before it actually goes somewhere, and we're finally at the point where it's actually progressing. It's, shows can be like that sometimes, but, I don't think this episode, like, fully redeems the show for me. It is a little better now, because for once, I actually cared about these characters. Like, I don't know, I made, like, I don't know, some friends and I made, like, jokes in regards to the show, and I kind of realized, wait, I actually care. So, about the actual episode itself, I actually feel like the plot is progressing in an interesting way, and the drama is, not the vaguest shit ever. It actually kind of feels like it means something. And it finally kind of addresses kind of the main issue I've had with the show, and an issue I've seen some others have had. And it's just the concept of the show itself. It's like they're like stuck in this digital world and it's all they can really do, and then we like see the psychological effects on these different people. It's just random characters who go on adventures and then they do it over and over again. It doesn't really matter. And I kind of felt like, why should I care then? And I think this is a good point to bring up. And I want to compare it to like Undertale. It's a game though, but in Undertale you have like control over what you want. You can kind of do whatever. You have the ability to do so, and you can do, if you actually go down the path of actually like killing everyone, like in a no mercy route, then it will be questioned. Your powers will be questions. After like doing the pacifist route recently, I felt like I didn't want to do that. I had too much emotional connection to the characters. It's hard to not want to do the no mercy route. You can't make me. You can't. And here Amazing Digital Circus finally kind of addressed the actual concept for once. Like, sure, you've had Jax like not treating anyone well at all. Like, that was kind of obvious since the start. But it was just not really developing it that much until kind of the last episode, but that episode wasn't really that interesting. It actually goes a little further of the idea of what happens if you don't actually care about these adventures. Like, should you care or should you not? Like, we're shown, like, how Jax acts for, like, fully his way of thinking and how he actually like acts around Pomni and takes like advantage of her. And this is contrasted with the other teams. I think, I don't know, some of like the deep emotional talks about like, oh, you gotta be nice, it's about being nice and stuff and connecting with people, like the stuff Kinger says, it kind of feels like that comes out of nowhere. It doesn't really feel earned. But like the whole monologue near the end with Jax, like that whole fight there, that's handled well, I think. I think Jax is probably the best character, I guess, at this point. Jax though. Here's the thing. I see people being like, people have like bad media literacy and don't understand like the difference between a bad person and a good written character. Jax is definitely a bad person to some degree. He's like a Flowey. And I think he's pretty well written here. I like he takes advantage of the situation he's in, and No, he's pushing people away in a pretty toxic manner, as he's putting on this bad person facade to like push people away from it because he doesn't want to lose others. That's interesting. Yeah, it's cool seeing him at his lowest point at the end of the episode. The actual end of the episode is very funny. It just ends with a joke. And honestly, I think it's kind of earned. It's like, it's the kind of ending that shouldn't work. It would just be anticlimactic, but it's anticlimactic in a way that's actually funny. Speaking of, this episode is actually way funnier. It's the funniest episode. The return of a disappearing guy was good. That's what he should have been. He should have been a running gag. He shouldn't appear 2 times in the first episode he appears in. That's not good, I think. It's very obvious that he's just gonna disappear the second guy because it's the same guy. Right behind Jax is Kane. I wonder where he's heading. Like, the episodes have like progressed in an interesting way. The first 3 episodes like set up the whole idea of like fun adventures, and we've been like subverting them since episode 4. Like, oh, it's just an adventure at a fast food chain. And then episode 5 is like, I don't know what are we gonna do? I guess we'll do everything. And for this one, Ken is just lazy and is putting it together, just a sloppily designed adventure of just guns, which is funny. And honestly, I think we're gonna get an episode where there is no adventure. I think that's the next logical step. I don't know. That's what I assume. Speaking of, I really like the longer length of these episodes. I was worried it was like gonna turn out bad and it would just be more meandering. But at the same time, I was wondering, okay, these last 3-4 episodes are all gonna be like over 30 minutes, and they must be that long for a reason. So I am kind of interested and hopeful, and luckily it was actually. I'm curious to see where it's gonna go with the longer lengths. Anyways, yeah. Pomni is probably at her best, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm looking too much into this, or if I'm projecting my negatives with the show onto the show itself and where the story is heading. But I don't know, maybe Pomni's like intentionally like unclear as a character, because like Jax has that speech where he's like, I'm the funny one and all of these other characters are those ways. Kinger's the crazy one, like that, and you're the one who hasn't figured it out. Like, obviously he's talking about like, you're the one who hasn't figured out that these characters have these roles, but like, he could also be like referring to Pomni herself. I don't know. Intentionally written this way or something. Intentionally, in quotations, bad writing. I like the whole the gun concepts. There were some fun moments, like Pomni like shooting the gun like in a random direction, and it like Zubul ends up losing. That's a good bit. I like the bit where Ragatha is with Jax alone. Like, what she says there is interesting, and the whole like finger gun is super funny. You know, it's handled really well, surprisingly. At the very start of the episode, I was like, I don't know, I'm enjoying it, but I guess it was like that with every episode. It starts out fine, and then as it goes on, it just kind of falls apart in a way, slowly, or when you let it linger, it just kind of falls flat or whatever. I just continued to enjoy myself. I think this episode would have been even better if the previous episodes were like better as well. I feel less impact because of some of like the implied like progression. Yeah. I still think the show has some issues like overall, but maybe these last batch of episodes could put it up for me a little bit. I hope so. Yeah, I'm more excited to check out the rest. Okay, If you're interested to hear more unscripted ramblings from me, then subscribe to the channel. Or if you're interested in like scripted videos or art or music or stuff like that, then subscribe to my main channel. You've even heard some of the music in this video. Anyways, that's enough. Bye bye. I am Jax from the amazing